Why, hello there. Let's make sure that's good. That's good. That's good. Oh, I think we're ready to rock. So, where are we today? Almost recovered from my cold. That'll help. Okay, so I did some stuff. There we go. We'll build this really quick. I fixed the zooming trubs, I think. Pretty sure. So like if we say, all right, I'm going to kind of focus on 4-3 in the middle here. When we zoom in, it stays more or less in the middle. Good enough that I can't tell like if I was off or not. And resetting also works. If you zoom out too far, you're obviously going to lose the exact center. And we also lose our ability to scroll anymore because it runs out of room. That's more apparent in full screen mode, which I'm not crazy about, but in general, things work with regards to that. And I wound up doing, turn that down a little bit. I wound up doing, so I collapsed the two side variables because we only have one length. We only do square tiles. So we only need one length to drive that. I have some convenience getters for map width and map height. We only have one min and one max because again we only have one dimension, one default as well. We still set it on a net. Change zoom got collapsed into a single function, which kind of was always sort of the plan, because we had repetitive code, right? But once I got everything where I wanted it, I could do that. So to keep it offset, we take the current offset because that doesn't change when we zoom. The offset is the same. Because the map moves underneath it basically, right? Plus half of the viewport dimension. And I had to do that because things were weird. When I later was multiplying by, or I didn't have that. I was adding half of the step initially. And that wound up being just a little bit too far. And I'm not sure why exactly. 2.2 became the magic number, but I wasn't convinced that it would always be 2.2. And I'm still not sure exactly why. One second. Wow, that was a big one. I'm still not exactly sure why 2.2 was the magic number. I don't really understand why that would be. It may have something to do with squares, but like we're doing the horizontal and the vertical separately. So I'm very confused by that still. But taking the offset plus half of the viewport dimension gives us the center point, right? On both axes. Then we divide that by the map width, which tells us like the center point is basically what percent of the map across, right? And down. And then we set the state to change. We can do just one. Now we clamp it still. And then we jump to the percentage we just calculated multiplied by the map width, right, to put it back, minus this because we need to reaccount for the fact that we took that measurement from the center. So that's happy for now, at least. in the sense that it's working. Okay, so, dang. Lingering cough from that cold. Anyway. That's where I'm at. So, that took care of a lot of to-dos that I left myself. We need to do two things primarily now. We need to okay, so if I change the tiles to have like a margin again, we probably need to make them bigger to account for that, but that'll give us some faux spacing between things. We can play with that in a little bit. What I want to do right meow is I want to get information over here when I click on a thing. So, here is what we need to do. I need to wire up. Actually, hang on. We were looking at the table playground example. And I think it just did rows and columns, but I want to refresh my memory. And it was in the, not this infinite table example, but it was in the other one. It was here. So we can get the tap on the rows. And we can get entered events. Interestingly enough, I don't get taps there. Get taps there. Anyway. And it wasn't, this one doesn't do it and this one doesn't. So simple is the one we need to look at the code for. Simple table. And where tap gesture recognizer. Oh, but they did a table span. Whereas we did a builder. Wait, no, it's in build column span. Cell builder. Change zoom. It's above. Right now. Where are you? Right here. Row builder, column builder. Build column span. But there's a tap gesture recognizer in a recognizer factory? Okay. If you say so. Table span, which we do have here. So, but that does it. That tap does a tap column at the index. Okay. And it has an on enter event. Okay. What other? So it's all inside of table span. Oh, there is a padding on the span. Well, now I'm curious. We'll have to investigate that later, though. I want this to work. Recognizer factory, gesture recognizer factory. Okay. And then, oh, on enter, on exit. Okay. So we have on enter, we have on exit, which we might be able to use to get highlighting working. But we only have access to the index here. So we can tap column 0. But that only gets us the column. I think what we need is to build it into the cells. And I think we need to actually pass it up basically to the parent. So we need like basically up here and this is gonna need to be because we don't have, it can be a room data or it can be a connection data of 3 different types, right? So I think we need to do something like that. Because these guys just extend, they're just widgets. And they don't actually have, because they don't really exist. They're just for data. And I'm going to think, down in down in our cell builder here, table view cell, room tile, or horizontal tile, yeah. I don't really want to make an interface for these guys because they're going to have different information in them. Hi, would you be able to help me with an HTML problem? I'm new to coding. Maybe. I haven't done a ton of HTML. Do you have like a code pad or something, or code pen? Getting this information lifted up to the parent is going to be the trouble. Although, because this gets tile data, And because we have a connection data in you, I have a web page that shows correct colors when I open it from my computer, but on the GitHub page, the colors are wrong and background vanishes. Do you want to know what might be causing that? What do you mean the GitHub page? Let's start there. Like a github.io page? There was something. Where was it? Uploaded this so people can view it online. Gotcha. It wasn't this. Hang on. Let me go. Did you commit the changes to main or to the GitHub pages branch? Because my website, and I'm trying to remember if that was something I had to do for a reason or if that's the default. Let's see here. Wait, the site. Let me see. Let me see if that was something I had to do or not. I honestly don't remember. Let's see here. Create that. Create your site. Configure a publishing source. You can publish your site when changes are pushed to a specific branch, or you can write a GitHub Actions workflow to publish your site. So is your... Hang on, let me pull this over. In your settings, is it pointed to the main branch or to a different branch? Main and then root. Okay. So that shouldn't be it. And you've published after your changes. Let me see here. I automated this like months ago, so I'm trying to remember the steps. Is it possible that because I have another webpage, it also points to main and root that it's causing it? I don't, like, in a different repo or the same repo? I don't know that if you're allowed to have more than one different repo. Okay. I would think not. I don't know if they let you set up more than one. I guess I don't see why they wouldn't. Um I really don't remember anything coming up like that. If you look at the source in your repo, does it reflect what the colors and background should be? See a source? Yeah, the code as it sits in GitHub. If you like go to your GitHub repo and like click into the code. Okay, anyway, where was I? I was looking to see if... So we have the vicinity in here. Everything is there. It loads when I open the HTML file. Right, but on the GitHub website, not in your computer. So we have the vicinity here. Code is the same? Okay. Uh, it does say it can take 10 minutes for changes to publish. It's okay if you don't know. It doesn't have to be solved. Yeah, not off the top of my head, no. I'm not 100% sure. I set it up and automated it and never touched them again. It was kind of a pain in the neck to get Hugo automated through GitHub Actions, but I did it, and then I was done. It's been 2 weeks. Okay, yeah. I can't think of any reason that would be the case. If it was me, I would open the web page and then open DevTools and make sure that what you're being served from the server has the correct stuff. And also make sure that it's not cached for you. Show you the page? Sure. As long as there's nothing bad on it. Ooh. Okay. Does that look like borders are meant to be white and the background should be starry and twinkling? Well, it's starry. The borders look white to me, unless I'm mistaken. It loads right for me? Okay. So something must be cached in your browser. Try opening it in incognito mode. Same on my phone as well now. And another phone. That. Let's do this. Ba 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 ba. Let's look at dev tools. I don't see anything in here at a glance that would be like dependent upon theme or anything, like dark mode or not. But I could be overlooking it. Look parts. I'm not sure what to tell you there. But I'm also not really a front end guy, so there may be things that I am ignorant of that would jump out to somebody who is. Really strange? Yeah, I agree. Try different browsers on phone and desktop too. You don't have like dark readers or anything. Different browsers, they shouldn't. Yeah, I don't know. That's weird. Let me get this back up here real quick. Okay. So, I'm looking at appreciate you helping. Yeah, sorry I don't have a quick and easy answer for you there. Okay, so we have vicinity in here and table view cell. What do you have? Key, row merge, start, row merge, span, column merge, start, column merge, span. So nothing really in there natively in that widget that we can hook into. But we can put them into here. Because a room tile has a tile data. Do I want to do it that way? I would need to, in my, let's see here. I don't need that. It's not the landing page. It is... There's a map page. There's just grain main. Where did I put you? Those are the tiles. Controller, model, room model. Map editor. That's what I called you. Okay. So in here, we would need to have, which is fine, a can't be final. It just needs to be, we'll call you, you're going to be an object, you could be null. You're going to be selected tile. We'll give you just tile data. Here we're going to play with this a little bit. Same deal. This is a stateful widget though. That's fine. That's fine. That. And then when we come in here, we'll just do a temporary. We have our placeholder here, which we'll replace with, we'll still have a center. We'll say selected tile. If you're not null, then do that. Otherwise, we'll do a placeholder. We'll actually do a column really quick. We'll do... Except for here, I want to do a switch, really. And I think I'm going to need to do... Gonna need to do this, right? I don't think I can do that though. I don't think runtime type, I'm worried about runtime type not worrying in anything other than debug. That might be a problem. Where did we switch on type a different way? There's a different syntax. We did it down here. No. In map pane. It was right here. We just did ifs. Okay. Because we need to be able to do is. Okay, so we'll have to do the same thing. That's fine. So instead of switch, we'll just say if widget dot tile data, or selected tile rather, which can't be null, is let's say, we'll start with room data. Otherwise, see, as a default, we'll say invalid selected tile data type. That's what we'll do. We'll leave, otherwise you're just null here. The children of this will be that. Need to close that. There we go. So here, we'll just do except room data. It won't be room data. It'll be it's a room tile. Now, why aren't you telling me tile data? You can't be null. Except for I already did select you. So why don't you recognize that? I guess we can just say we can do that. Do that. There we go. And then location to string. Except for... Right, you can't be null here. That makes sense. We'll have to be careful about that. We'll just do that for now. So that we can kind of wire this up as a test, right? Okay, now. In here, we'll do that, which will be null right now, so that's fine. Map pane, we need to give map pane the ability to then pass up this info. So it's on tile click, which gets an object. So what we're going to do is give it a little function here. And then here, selected tile is equal to selected. Okay. Then down here. Oh, you know what? We could skip. Yeah, let's skip the intermediate. That'll be way nicer to work with. So up here, all of that can stay the same. It's just here. We'll say your room data directly. And then, yeah, import it. Then I can just say, except for you're not selected. We're going to rename you data. Except for you haven't. Why didn't I have to do that over here? Why am I having to cast this manually now? Yeah, builder, table view builder, cell builder. Oh, I did have to cast it. Okay. Even though we type checked it. Okay. Sure. Why not? And then I need to string you. Okay. That'll be easier to reason about. Okay. That's also data now. Okay, so in here, we have selected data. We have on tile click. In here, in room tile, can I do that? That can be null. You'll have an on click. That's there if you give it. And then we would need to wrap this in a gesture detector. That's fine. On tap. If on click is not null, then we do stuff. Otherwise, null. Oh, I can't assign that to, okay. But I could do a conditional invocation here. Maybe. Let's see. Back again, this time trying to get archery on my new unopened, laptop because I had nothing better to do. Nice, nice. How's Project Angel coming on? Doing pretty good on the map so far. I'm getting the on clicking needs to be sending data over here. I'm done with you for now, I think. Okay. Actually, what I think I need to do here is this. Just invoke a function and say, chuck you in here in a good old if statement. If you're not null, on click with tile data in you, right? You can't be null. You can't be null. We just checked you. This needs to be, if you're not null and tile data is not null. Then we do that. Okay, now, in theory, but not. Oh, because I haven't yet. So you're there. Tile data that on click, which is on tile click. Which can't be null. I think I need to check here as well. And you need to be map controller map that. Can't be null. Okay. Ooh. That didn't work. What did I break? Set state or mark needs build called during build. Is that a hot reload bug? Nope. Okay. I have screwed something up along the way here, which isn't surprising because this is kind of ugly. I'm not super thrilled. Not super thrilled with the way this has to drill through and gets convoluted. But I need the click to be detected in you. If I take this out, that is definitely the trubs. Have I just messed this up? Quite possibly so. I think this needs to be wrapped in a function. Hello to you as well. And then this needs... That can't be that way, though. How do I want to pass this up through everything? Oh, you know what? I'm dumb. This guy doesn't need to be aware of the click. He can just chill. This is where we're going to put the gesture detector. I think. I hope I'm correct. And then on tap, we can do our functions. We say if widget dot on tile click is not null. Let's see, our map controller thingamajigger can't be null here. Oh, I've already stored map tile, so I can just then say on tile click map tile, right? See, you're going to be mad because of that. You can't be null either. There. Now. Just like so. There we go. If I would stop overcomplicating things for myself, it would be easier. Okay. Meow. You're still centered in here. We don't actually need this. Column can't be... What's going on here? Column can't be assigned to the parameter type widget. Because you need that. I'm from Indonesia and a newbie for Golang trying to understand it. Oh, well, this isn't Go. This is Dart today. This is Flutter. Oh, you know why? Because, okay. Do I want to do this? Maybe. Yeah. An expanded can't have a potentially null child. So we can just put a container in it. That's fine. Okay. So. Meow. We need to fix up this part, basically. Let's see, and then we'll need to wire up an on save as well. We're just going to do the data first. That's where we're going to start. I can't type at all today. Off in the tile selection logic. Okay, we should be able to reuse our room widget when we have one of these guys. We can possibly do away with this and just make it a widget. I need to look at what I did for the sidebar form field. Nope, that's just the widget for you. Template. Where's my room template? Here you are. Room template widget. So you need a controller, though. That's going to be problematic. Oh, I can't. Hey to you as well. I can't reuse. I can reuse this. No. Because you... Rim template on say... No, yeah, I can use this. I'm alright, how are you? Yeah, I can use room template form. If you do that, it should probably not be a room template form. It should just be like a room data form. Wait, no. Because, okay, this is why I split it up in the first place. Because not all these fields are going to be the same. We're going to have this, but we're also going to have connection data. A list of connections, specifically. Hi, crazy man. Hi to you. How do you manage shared class instances in Flutter? What do you mean? How am I? I'm alright, how are you? Can you give us a tour of the OS desktop? The OS desktop? There you go. There's my desktop. There's a planet floating in the middle and just hangs out. For the database, do you think I should choose SQLite or Redis? Depends on what you're doing. In general, start with SQLite. See how far you get. What's going on here? Can I explain in short? I'm building an editor for the map because I'm making a mud game and it needs maps to move around in and, you know, be a game. And editing this by hand would suck. So I'm building an editor. So right now, it's ugly because I'm not done. But this is just a map that's 10 by 10 where the rooms are all connected to one another just so I can visualize and build things. This room down here, for example, is not connected to anything. So that's what an isolated room would look like. If there was like a connection here, then you would only be able to get into it from there. Can I share my portfolio? I don't have a portfolio. Okay, so I guess I could use do I want to reuse this form? And then put another box below it with connection data that expands into this form. That would give me some component reusability. That would be a thing. Let's try that and see if anything trips us up. Let me double check though really quick. UUID, that's fine. Location. We don't have location. We don't have that in the template because it makes no sense to have it in the template, but also that's not an editable. Thanks for the advice. I'll try to learn SQLite. I mean, it's mostly just SQL. So like if you know one or the other, it's pretty easy to navigate between the two. It's like SQLite. Like you can't do everything you can do with normal SQL in it, but like it's most of the things you care about. Okay. We could add. We share this. This takes a room template though, not a room data. And I'm pretty sure I did that on purpose because of the fact that there'll be slightly different data. And it's really just a couple. We can just rebuild this form because we saved the fields as a widget. That's why I did this. Still not getting what kind of game it would be. Can you share any images with Google? Go show some videos to YouTube. It's a mud. So it's like if you could play Zork online with your friends. It's a text game. Yeah, we're not gonna worry about. We'll let template be its own be a template and be its own thing. Otherwise, we have to like try to shoehorn in some way to share the data structures. And template is a template in template data because it reads it from a file. We'll need to figure out translating between the two when we drag and drop, but that's easy. We just take the fields and dump them into the matching fields. That's okay. I think it's okay. It might be a mistake. We're going to roll with it until we regret it. Okay. So we'll keep you over here in case we need to refer back to how to use our own widgets because it's been a second since I made them. But I don't think... Yeah, I don't need that. In the map editor... in widgets. Yeah, you can leave in here. Been solving some leak code problems recently. I have solved around 20. Any advice to do to Dodo DSA? Nope, I hate leak code. I don't do it. No advice at all for leak code. Yeah, let's do... Here, I'm going to want to just return, instead of this list, this widget. Or the other widgets we'll end up building for the connection data. Which we might be able to combine into one. We'll solve that problem when we get there. For this one, what is this editor? IntelliJ. no dot file. You will be room data form dart. Do I need... I think you can be stateless. Stateless? I think. Oh, I forgot to do this. I don't know why it defaults to Cupertino. Okay. Build context. Like so. All right, there's our basic scaffolding. And then here, we're gonna make this just a widget for now, instead of the list. This will be, just return a room data form. This will just return the text for meow. Like so. We need to import you. Import like so. Oh, duh. We can take out that for now. I can just do that. Yes, and that still needs to be there because we have a null, so we need the container still. Okay, so we've got our hello world there. Perfect. Love that. Let me scooch this real quick so I can see more stuff. Now, we obviously don't want a hello world text. I think we're going to want to call... Actually, we should have... This is why I have my other... I have too many tabs over here, but that's fine. Because here, I should have a... Oh, no, I just did a column here. What did I have? I must have put the... Oh, I put the styling on the parent. That makes sense. Do I have a job or am I doing freelance? I have a non-tech job right now because nobody's hiring devs right now. That's actually fine. I think in this case... Do I want to put the border and stuff here? Or do I want to put it up above? I think I want to put it up above, even though it seems kind of silly. Because then this room form could be reused elsewhere without needing to be in the same box. That's what I think. And then we'll make this pretty later. Right here. Okay. So we've got our column here. We're going to do the same style padding we've done over here. Except we're going to use the correct edge insets here. Symmetric. Vertical 20 and horizontal 20. I did 30 over there. We'll keep that up. We do need a form still. We're going to need the form key. final, actually. Put you above my constructor. Is a global key. I think I've done that right. Why do I have you in a column? I don't think it matters. I think it's fine. It could be a container. Or maybe it was for expanded reasons. I'm going to do this until I have a reason not to. Because it's simpler. And then we could also do the padding up here, which eliminates a child object. And then we just have child for the container, and that's easier. We put the column in there. Should be Gucci, I hope. Oh, I can't do that. Because you're not a const. That's fine. That won't matter. Whoop. That's caps lock key. Children. List a widget. This does need to be the column, though. And we have our sidebar form field widget. So we can use that. This could theoretically be a const. And we can do... this is our... You're going to need a room data here. We need to import that. That's fine. I'm going to say this is required. I don't think there's a case where I'm going to want this without having. Like, it doesn't make any sense to not have. To support an empty form, right? So we need to string that. We do the same thing here. We could do... the location. We have a string for you as well. Yeah. Like so. Okay. And then we start to see exactly what we want to see, except for... Why are you... over there? It's because... Oops, that's the room temp of the form. I think this has to be expanded so that it consumes all the side-to-side space, and that's going to be mad at me about incorrect use of parent data widget because it's in a container, not a padding. But if I put it inside of a padding, I'm going to have the same damn problem. And I can do cross-axis alignment, but not width. Let's take you out of there because that makes things angry. Oh, I wonder if it's getting the center still. And that's just playing with... If I do that, that fixes, or at least makes things betterer. That still sits before. Which it does here too. I'm not super happy with that. But it's correct here. I would need to do... We can tweak that a little bit later. That'll fix my alignment. That's the main thing I'm worried about, right? Meow. So we can do that. And then let's see here. So we've got our ID. We've got our location. We're going to need the name. No. Rooms don't have names. There's a name over here because it's the template name, which maybe I should make more clear. I'd also like to do a filter over here for that, for when that list gets big. It's a later me problem, though. Okay, so we've got our sidebar form field. We need to have... description. And this needs to be a text form field. Not location. Description. Wait a minute. What am I forgetting? Text form field needs something else. Needs a decoration, a controller, and a validator. That's fine. We can do that. Input decoration. Filled is true to give it the gray background. Border. Border. None. Ugh. Helper text. We had to do an empty space here for what reason? I don't remember, but I do believe it needs to be there. That's right. We need to also do, okay. This is why this has to be a stateful widget. That's fine. Extend stateful widget. We pull you up. We pull this up like so. That can be a const again. This is in not init state. Create state? I forget now. It is create state. Okay, it's type state. Like so. We return room data form state here. We need this to be that syntax there. That like so. Then that can be that. This needs to be that. that. Up here, if I could type today, it would be a lot helpful. Dispose. This should be void. Yes. We're going to call you at the end, but also up here, we are going to need, let's see, custom engine. Nice. Yes. Well, not right now. This is Flutter, but yes, there is a custom engine. Got Arch setup working finally. Excellent. Good job. Now you can go tell the entire internet you use Arch BTW. We need text editing controller. You are the description controller equals text editing controller. Inside of you, text is going to be widget.data.description at the start. What are you mad about? You need to be late. Okay, that's fine. And then description controller. We want to make sure we remember to dispose you. Now, we don't have you in here. We have instead controller, description controller, like so. Everything is peachy keen. Okay. We're gonna want a validator in here, and I don't remember the syntax for validator, so I'm just gonna go cheat off of myself. We have a value here. Okay, perfect. For now, we'll do the same. You just can't be null. Is empty, return. Description may not be empty. Perfect. Otherwise, return null. We also have an onChanged, which we'll use, which also has a value. Here, we're going to do the same thing. We need to have that can stay up there. Zoop. We're going to have to do the same exact thing we did here. Do we want to copy? Yeah, we're going to want to copy, I think, so that we can quickly reset everything. Same pattern we've been doing over here, I think. All right, so here, ooh, we don't have a copy function for you, I don't think. Room data. Crap, okay. How do I want to do this? I could give it a clone function helper like we have been. That's fine. Do I want to? I think I do, because it solves so many problems for us where we just want to modify an in-memory copy until we commit things. And then if we roll back or we go away, we just throw it away. Yeah, I'm going to go with that, I think. Okay. We're going to need to override init. It's not in its state, is it? It is in its state. Okay. All right. We do that, and then we're going to say editable copy. We're going to underscore y'all because you're private. This needs to be widget dot data dot clone. Now, widget data does not have clone. We do need to add you. You are going to take source like so, room data. Now, UUID, source UUID, description, source description. What other things do you have? You have a location. UID, location, description, verbose description. Like so. And one more, right? Connections. Ooh, okay. Can I do... I don't know if I can do this. Is there an inbuilt way to clone a list in Dart? List from? Shallow copy. Which I don't want. Oh, I can just, yeah, duh. I can just say, in room data, it's a list of UUID values. Source dot connections Expand. No? Other way around. Bop, bop, bop. No, you can't be null. Okay. But we need to make sure then. Otherwise it can be null, just like its parent or its source was. Is that going to bone me? Or did we handle that correctly on the other side of things when we go to add connections? I don't think we... We only have a model. We don't have... Map controller handles this. We'll find out. For right meow, you need to clone widget.data. Like so. And then I'm going to take the text parameter out of here. And we're going to do the same way we used to do where in the other side, why are you... Oh, it's because you're not used yet. Okay. We're going to say description controller text equals editable copy description. Like so. This also, however, needs to be in the state block. Okay, like so. Perfect. I need to take a quick break. I'll be right back in just a second, and we will keep chewing through this form. All right, there we go. Let's get this real quick. And that. All right, so we have our text controller. And we get the description going. Grab you. You need to come back up here so I can convert to you. Verbose is next. Oh, and also, I almost forgot. We were doing our on change. We need to do the same thing in here. So we say our editable copy. Wait, how did we do this? I think we set the... Yeah, we set the editable copy as text. Right? Yes. Equals the value of this thing right here. And then we did if modified, or not modified rather. Then we need to set state. Modified is true. Okay. All that still super Gucci. Now we need to do, and let's also quickly, now we'll do this first. This late, it doesn't need to be late anymore. I don't think. It can just be final. Text editing controller. Verbose description controller is a text editing controller. In here, verbose text, pardon me, editable copy, verbose description. Down here, we need to check in another sidebar form field, label, const text, verbose description, like so, perfect child. Text form field. In here, we need to do our decoration again. And these actually, I believe, can be const as well, which will help us a little bit. In theory, filled true. We could make this a thing, but I'm not sure I want to. Okay. And then we get that. Love that. Controller. Verbose. Description controller. Like so. Validator. Has a value. Same thing we'll just do for now. If it's null or empty. Verbose description may not be empty. Otherwise, it's a null return for the validator. That, and then our onChanged, we do the same thing. We have the value. We say editable copy dot verbose description equals value. And then if not modified, we set state to the true on our modified flag. Okay. Now, why do I not have a verbose description in my... I also need to remember to do this. Why don't I have a verbose description here in 3.1? It's not updating them at all, in fact. Feel like we've tackled this problem before. What was it that we did? We had to do the same thing for Oh, where did I do this? It's because it's caching stuff. Was it here? Doesn't make sense it would be here. It's the menu stuff. It was a different kind of global key, I think, if I remember correctly. Were you used in status effects? It's our retry stuff. This view. Unique key. I swear there was something else though. Was it in skills and attributes? There's like a key based on the data of the widget so that we could be a little bit smarter about when we tell Flutter to redraw. I think. Were you in here? No, we just used unique keys here too. Maybe I'm misremembering. Skills and attributes, status effects. The only other place I can think of would be Farm Field? No, that's a widget, not a screen. Templates. Value key. That's what you were. Room template controller items. So that when this value changes, we rebuild this. Can we value key? Thank you. I'm done with you for now, I think. Value key off of data.uuid. How about that? Yes. We also need to make you more big like this guy. Okay. I think that's a smarter way to do this, because it allows whatever Flutter's caching stuff is to be smarter about what it's doing, I think. Okay. I know that it maintains older copies of widgets. I don't know exactly all of the mechanisms there, but I think value key is better. I think. So if it still has something cached, we gain something. If not, we don't. Either way, it's a unique value key, so it should be fine. Until it bites me, I'm gonna use it. Okay, we need to make you, you need like a max line. How did we do you? For verbose, you had like a max lines property, right? Yes, max lines. Verbose. Max lines. We did 5 there. We'll do 5 here. Sure. There we go. That's better. Okay. Now. Just double check. Room data. Remodel. Tile data. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Room data form is we added the... Or not room data form, but the remodel is that we added the clone. Yes, all these changes, good. Rough in the room data form. Meow. We've got that going. The we want to put you in a border for the sake of being more consistent with our style, because all the other forms over here go in borders. So let's do a nice little border for you. So that's just going to look like a container. You'll do that. Like so. And then decoration. And then I'm going to forget what I did over there. And also what the correct type is for decoration. You're just a decoration. I want to say it's decorated box. No. I don't remember. That's all right. We can figure it out. We would have used you in the... This is widgets. You. Connection template form. Hear that. That's right, we wrap you. I remember this now. This one doesn't have it. Template container. We can put you inside of a template container. I'm okay with that. Oh, right. Duh. How's that? Beautiful. Loves it. Except for it stretches too far. Oh, we fixed, let's switch this back. Whoops, this is not. That's back to a container, okay. I don't necessarily want that to stretch the whole. The whole height. I probably want. Instead of putting it there. That's fine for now. I think I want to rename it if I use it again, but that's okay. We did for you. Don't need that. Don't need that anymore right now. We'll put you over here. We'll be back to you, but for right meow, I don't need that. I don't need that open right now. How did I do? We're done with that for now. That should have been left open. We're really working on that. It's because you're inside of a list view. I think anyway, that's the reason. So I would need to do either. Because you have just a column. I'm probably going to want this to be scrollable anyway. For the sake of if you happen to be on a small screen, it could have more connections. Actually, even on a normal size screen, as soon as you expand this guy, it's going to be a prob. So let's put you inside of a single child scroll view instead of a container. That'll fix that problem and allow us to scroll as we build the connections in here. Okay, now the problem with what I got going on here is that the room data it has connections, but that's just a list of values. We need to be able to, in tile data here, we need to be able to pass the connection objects that go to those IDs. Do I want to... How do I want to? Let's, this is already in widgets. Let's rename you. Cancel that real quick. This is inside of map widgets. So instead of template container, we're going to call you, oops, I need to actually do this one. We're going to call you form data container. That's what I think we're going to do. And I'm going to have to go fix the imports really quick. That's fine. I'll do it. That. Anybody else? Do my tests on pass. I don't think anything in the test used any of those. We'll run it just in case. Okay. Templates, container, 2, 4. Ooh, actually, I gotta rename you too. Form data container, yeah. I don't know, I love that name, but it's a fine for now. All right, so we'll say moved template container to form data container used now to hold the selected tile data. Okay, so also I want to do Let's figure out these guys. We're going to have like a connection form, and we'll be able to reuse this as well. Like a connection within the connection tiles themselves. But pulling them out of the map, that's going to be the trick. So we need to look at our map controller. We have connections saved in a map. So we just need a reference to the map controller, which we don't have. Oop, you're in the wrong place. We have it in map pane, I believe. Yes. But we need to lift that up here so that we can provide it to our tile data as well. That way we don't have to create a new controller, load the data over, and have two copies, which would be stupid. So we actually just temporarily move you over here. That UI stays there. We need that like here-ish. Wait, why are you grayed out? Hang on. That was weird. Okay, whatever. There, you can live there. Okay, you need to get imported here. That's fine and dandy. This needs to have final map controller, required this dot map controller. Does not work without it. Widget dot map controller, widget dot map controller, widget dot map controller. All of that. Like so. Okay. Now you app controller is the controller. Perfect. Now this can still handle my loady loads. That's fine. In theory. Okay, here we go. I just had to, it was a hot reload issue. Okay. So still good G here. Meow. I can do this, or I could throw this all away. And what would I do if I was going to do that? I would have to put the connection objects into the room model. So instead of UID values, these would have to be the connections. Do I want to do that is the question. I don't know is the answer. but I suspect the answer is going to be no. Although, in my connection tiles, tile data model, or tile connection model rather, here I've got connection data put in here. I could make you connection data, and then when I load you in map controller, that's why we don't do it, because we load the map tiles first so that we can load connections after and then build the connection tiles based on them. We could still store both. That would be okay. Or we could keep doing what we're doing. We do have you stored in the controller in a way that we can reach easily. Otherwise, we do populate, we rate and store the connections. That is a thing. And then we go through the rooms. But yeah, we could put them in here, I think. It's going to break our test. I'm okay with that. I think. But part of pulling this out is we have to read. Yeah, so we would have to store it twice. Do I want to do that? Okay, let's think about when we go through and we make a change. We have to change the underlying data and reload things. So that's going to be kind of a problem too. We can change the in-memory stuff, no prob. Because we have references, or not references, we have a map. We have a hash table that maps the ID to the object in question. That part's okay. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, because we put the actual connection in here and into the map table, or the map data, the list that is the actual map, I think if we change one, it changes it in other places. And because when we click, we load the data based on the value in there, I think we're okay to do that, as long as all of that proves true. So in this case, we would end up putting the same reference, kind of, sort of, into the same instance into the room data to later be done with as we please. But as long as when we submit the changes to the map controller, we're changing the stuff in the table, I think we're okay. It's kind of a big if, though. There's a lot of unknown there that I'm not as happy with as I could be. But it would be awkward to pass that controller around. I still need it to be hoisted, though, because I need access to it for the on-save method that happens over here when we put it in. Over here, we need a save button eventually that's going to write the data to the actual map. Or do I want to do... Look at the screenshot here real quick from the old busted editor. Was it you? It was you. Oh, I don't have an expanded view to refresh my memory. Okay. That's fine. It's just it's just a couple buttons away. In here, we can't load our test map because we changed the data. We need to go fix that still. But here, when we click on, yeah, we do have apply, which isn't really save. We have a save here, and we'll need to rebuild this too, which is fine. But we do have an apply so that you apply the changes. That makes the map gets marked as dirty. So we, yeah, apply unsaved changes here. So I still need that map controller to be lifted up. So that I can apply and have it do stuff and also things. Don't want to save that. But this actually lives in the map pane. How do I want to do that? The other thing we can do is no, we can't do that. I think I still do want to have the apply. How am I going to get the well, I guess I just have to give it a parameter for dirty or whatever. That's not the end of the world. I can do that. And this is already stateful, so I can put you in a set state and then it'll change that. That's fine. Yeah, this has gotta live here. That much I know for sure. 90% sure. So we're going to need I think I'm done with that. We did it manually, so we don't need to worry about it. Yeah, it just has to be this way if I want to keep the functionality the same. So template bar is going to need a on apply, and that'll just be, it'll take the value and call this map controller to update it. And it'll set dirty. In a sense that, yeah. Okay, so I'll put you up here, I guess, for tomorrow, because it's getting late. So we have a to-do here. We're going to take... give... not template bar, but tile data. And on apply, callback, set changes in map controller. I do think I want to move I want to put the connections inside of the room tile, I think. Put connection data inside of room model on map loading that we can build forms for them. Yeah, this will come before there. Build list of connection datas on connection data forms, I guess I can say, on map tile. Click or room tile in tile data pane. And then do the apply callback to set the changes in map controller. I think that'll get us... I think that'll get us pretty well set for rooms. And then we'll just have to do the connections when we click on those. And also somewhere, I guess after here, we're going to want to be able to key press to deselecting. Then we'd have to put you here. I think that's okay. Selected tile. Questions. I think I want to do that. I'm done with that one. Oop, wrong button. There we go. So here we can do a last commit for move map controller initialization up into the map pane widget. So we can make changes to the map later. That's fine. Okay, that's the plan. The to-do list shrank and then grew, as one does. But I'm tired, so I'm going to go to bed. But if you like this kind of thing, I would love to see you again. Thank you for all of you who did show up today. We had some great chats today. We had some interesting things to look at from other people. That was kind of cool. But yeah, I do this thing roughly 2 hours a night, 4 days a week, starting tonight and ending on Monday. So I'll be back here tomorrow doing the same thing, barring any unforeseen circumstances. And I'd love to see you again. And if not, then you guys have yourself